Welcome to another edition of On Point for today, the 11th day of July 2025. My name is Alexis Jeffers, and of course, it's always my pleasure to come here on a Friday afternoon. And as I always say, spend my lunch hour with you. It is a wonderful day here on the island of Nevis, and I want to say good afternoon and hello to all who are listening to Von Radio at this time here on Nevis, throughout the entire island, that is. And of course, down there in the island of St. Kitts, we do have a large following down there also. And going further afield, let me welcome all of the listeners down in Sabre, Statia, St. Bart's, French and Dutch St. Martin, of course, the U.S. and British Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, and all of the states throughout the United States, starting from the northeast up there in New Hampshire, Vermont, and those states. Because we do have nationals there, I believe I can think of a couple of persons who are there. And of course, you come all the way across to the heartland of the United States and over to the west, California, Oregon, and Washington State, and of course the whole of Canada, but more so Toronto, Ontario, and those cities that we do have a lot of our nationals who are there living, working, and perhaps on a vacation. And then of course we go up into Europe, United Kingdom, France, Germany, Denmark, Switzerland, wherever in Europe we have nationals there as well. And of course into Asia, but more specifically the Republic of China, Taiwan, where we have our students who are there studying. And of course, there may be visitors there as well too. There may be persons working there also. So whatever your mission is there in the Republic of China, Taiwan, I say good morning to you just after 1 a.m. on a Saturday morning. And it is so weird that I would go from Nevis all the way north and then into Asia and so forth. And then we do have nationals among us who are from southern territories or southern countries and islands, such as Dominica, well, starting with Antigua, Dominica, French islands such as Guadeloupe, Martinique, and further south St. Lucia and all the way down to Guyana. So I say good afternoon to all of our neighbors south of us as well. Okay, so this afternoon we'll have a guest with us this afternoon on the show. He will be here shortly, but in the meantime we'll move on with the normal format of the show and say at this time we want to extend condolences to all those who are in the bereaved column this afternoon, those who would have had to lay someone to rest within the last couple of days or earlier this week and even up to yesterday. I say to you that of course continue to trust in the Lord, continue to lean upon Him, and continue to be strong, as He would be there to provide that helping arm or that comforting arm. Yeah, rest in the comforting arm of Christ. There's a song that goes like that, I believe. But if you are a Christian and a church-going person, you would be comforted to know that the Lord is always there in the midst of all of your turbulent times. And losing someone is one of those difficult and tragic times, but of course the love of God and His promise not to leave you or forsake you will always hold true. So continue to believe, yes? And the life that we live, we have death and we have time for celebration. And of course, there are persons out there who may be in the bereaved column, yes, but there are those who are also celebrating today. And we want to lift you up if you're celebrating and be with you as well and celebrate with you. So those who are celebrating a birthday today, happy birthday to you. If you're celebrating some particular milestone, I say, well, celebrate as if there is no tomorrow. But as you're celebrating, continue to take care of yourself and understand that you can celebrate many more birthdays and many more occasions if you continue to do the right thing and continue to believe in God. But specifically, let me recognize and say happy birthday to my good friend there, Myra Williams from Jessups. Myra, well, I believe the whole of Nevis know Myra. They must have interacted with her at some point in the past, whether it was down there at the legal department. She's now the clerk of the Nevis Island Assembly. But she's someone who is always here, there, and everywhere, doing what she has to do. So, Myra, good afternoon to you and happy birthday to you. I wish you many, many more years of celebration. And as I always say, if you have $10, spend 5 on yourself. You'll get a chance to make back that 5, What I am saying essentially is that whatever you have, spend some on yourself. Because if no one is going to do that for you, you have to do it for yourself, of course. And so I say happy birthday, Myra. I also want to say happy birthday as well to Alfred Baker Newton over here in Bath. I believe I heard that he's celebrating today. So we know Alfred Baker Newton. Baker is his Calypso name or his nickname, but that's what he used in the Calypso arena. So Alfred, well, you know how to celebrate, I suppose, so you'll certainly celebrate as you should. Also, I believe today is the birthday of Althea Huggins Brown. That is the wife of Astro, King Astro. Althea, happy birthday to you. She works up there at Horsford's, and I'm sure she may have taken the day off, I don't know, but if she didn't, well, and you're going to Horsford, say happy birthday to her. Yesterday also were some important persons who were celebrating. One of them is my friend there in Brick Hill, Varita Stapleton. Varita, happy belated birthday. It is just what, a couple hours ago, but you can celebrate until the end of July. It's up to you. The whole month is yours to celebrate. So I believe you're still in a mood to celebrate further, so go ahead and celebrate. Also, yesterday was the birthday of Tishina Knowles. I said Tish when I meet her, so Tish up there in Fountain. She celebrated her birthday yesterday as well. And of course, 2 days ago was also another friend of mine, Zakia. Well, she's Zakia, but she called herself Asha. Asha Daniel from over there at Nisbet Settlement. She celebrated 2 days ago, along with also a good friend of mine, a villager of mine as well too, right up there in New York, the wife of Mr. Bernard Myers. She is Verdon Myers. Bernard, you'd have taken a queen out of Brick Hill. So Queen Verdon, happy belated birthday to you, and I hope you had a wonderful day on, when was that? That was Wednesday, 2 days ago. And also, earlier in the week, I would have had a chance to wish Iola Jeffers up there in Fountain happy birthday as well. So, Iola, I know you're still recovering, but birthdays are meant to celebrate, and I'm sure you had a wonderful time. And of course, coming up this week, there are quite a number of persons who are celebrating, this week, the upcoming week, that is. And I want to say happy birthday in advance, because this will be before I come back next week, God's willing. So Lisa Mills will be on Monday. Oscar Brown himself will be on Wednesday of this upcoming week. That is the King Astro, along with my good friend over there in Potworks of Barnaby, Rubelet Wilkin. And of course, everybody know Papa Rohan Prentice up there in Churchground. He's going to be on Wednesday as well. So 3 important persons on Wednesday, and of course 2 good friends of mine, Celestine Brown Grant and also Colin Tyrrell, will be next Thursday. So happy birthday in advance to all of you. And then when I come back here next week, we'll see who else celebrating at that time. As I said before, the weather outside is beautiful weather, typical Nivision weather. It's kind of hot today, yes, but yesterday we had some rain, and of course throughout this past week we've had some rain on and off. Good for the crops and good for our lawn and so forth. Whatever it is, we're certainly thankful for the blessings that we receive from the heavens, and of course that will be something for farmers to celebrate, of course. So this is a good time, perhaps going into the summer, which is normally hot, but then you get quite a bit of shower from time to time. We're still in the hurricane season. It's not a bad time to plant some root crops as well. Normally around this time, it's best to plant root crops, yeah? Things like tomatoes and lettuce and, bell peppers. Not too many persons will plant those because of the heat. But of course, the reason why it's important to plant root crops is because if you have some kind of storm or anything of that sort, they won't be blown down like other crops that are above the ground. So if, for example, you have some root crop, sweet potato or yam or whatever the case might be, at least after a storm, you'll have something to cook. Yeah. So that is just some, advice, so to speak. Okay. Earlier or last weekend, we would have celebrated the Mango Festival. Huge event. The 11th anniversary or the 11th staging. And oh my goodness, the Malcolm Gishard Park was filled with persons. Based on the numbers, my understanding is over 4,000 persons who were there. That is a huge increase over last year. Last year was just over 2,000 plus. So this year we made it cross the 4,000 mark. And so you can safely say that the numbers continue to grow, because I don't think we have ever had 4,000 persons in one space for the Mango Festival in the past. So that means that this event continue to grow, and of course the economic impact continue to be felt, whether it's by way of those water taxis over there at Wale Water Taxi, or whether it's in Charlestown, whether it's a taxi operators, bar and shops and restaurants, guest houses, hotels, all of these institutions or places that are geared towards serving our visitors and nationals alike would certainly have made some money over the last weekend and continue to do so. Car rentals, gas station, every area of business that is out there that can be patronized were indeed able to receive some business over the last weekend. And so the glowing reports are out there, and the reports are all throughout the globe. Not only here in the Federation, but there have been some persons who are here. They call them influencers, but these are persons who have large followings as well, and large platforms that they would spread certain messages. And of course, the message about our Mango Festival was spread near and far and wide. And so out of Philadelphia, there was a Fox station there that would have had an interview that was eventually picked up by all of us here in terms of via these clips or these things that were forwarded to us. We were able to see and listen to what glowing reports are out there regarding our Mango Festival. So there are times when we put on these events, and of course the ultimate thing is to get as much publicity as possible. But there are persons who come along and would give us some publicity when you least expect it. Because I wouldn't have known such person was here, and many of us here on the island perhaps wouldn't have known. But, of course, she came, did her thing, and was able to put it right out there on the U.S. media, which costs money. But to us, it is something that we can say we gain huge benefits from something that was, some may say it was simple, but I consider it to be great in many ways. Yeah, and many others out there pushing this island because, of course, when they come and feel our hospitality and feel the warmth and know what we have to offer and see that Nevis is really as good as any and better than many, they have to just spread the good words, okay? So I thank all who would have done their part to ensure that the persons who can make a difference were brought here, and of course would have gone back. Those persons would have gone back and spread the good words about Nevis. So Nevis continue to press on. We continue to make wave throughout the world. Small, but significant in many ways. And of course, if persons can come and say these glowing things about Nevis, who are we to condemn them, and who are we to say otherwise? Because we live here and we know what they're saying is true. Is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. That is the bottom line. Okay, so we move out of Mango Festival and we move into Culturama, because Culturama is the next big event here on the island of Nevis. And of course, all of us are gearing up for Culturama in some shape or form. Some will be in those bands on the road on, what do you call it, Parade Day, or Culturama Tuesday, whatever you want to dub it as, when you have those troops going through Charlestown. Some persons will be going in those bands, some will be participating in Juve, some will be in the Calypso competition, some will be in the Queen Show, Mr. Talented and Youth show, Mr. Cool and Swimsuit Competition. All of these shows and events are all going to be a part of our Culturama 51 for this year 2025. And so my specific contribution is always the Herbert Beach Affair. And of course, in the past, we have had other events during Culturama like Homecoming, but this year, just the Herbert Beach Affair on the 4th of August. That's Monday, the 4th of August. It starts at 12 noon and go down to 12 midnight. So we have already contacted the bands. We have DJs lined up. We have the booths to construct. We have food, drinks, and all of the amenities that you normally will get down at Herbert Beach. Those will be provided to you. Compliments of all our booth owners, and of course we would put the infrastructure in place to make sure we have a good time on the 4th of August, Monday the 4th of August. We dub it as August Monday, and this event has been the major event of Culturama over the years for the last 27 or 28 years. And so without Herbert Beach Affair, Culturama, I'm sure, will fall flat in many ways, and I say that with no water in my mouth, because of course this is the culmination of all of the big events. This is the culmination, Herbert Beach Affair. So it's on, and we'll speak more about that as the next couple of weeks come up, and once I come here I would speak more about that. Of course, other events will be spoken about as well, but this is really my main signature event for Culturama that I would spearhead along with all of the folks who work along with me. So keep that in mind. Herbert Beach is on for this year, alive and well, and continue to provide the type of economic return to the people of St. James and the persons who come from various parts of Nevis to do their vending or sell stuff out of the back of their vehicle, whatever the case might be. It is still one of those events that continue to play its part in making Culturama what it is. So Culturama 51 is truly on, and Herbert Beach will be a part of that as well. Okay, I want to send out a quick invitation to those who would not have attended any of the CCM or the Concerned Citizens Movement, Nevis Island Administration town hall meetings that have been held over the past week and more. Earlier this week we were up at the Franklin Brown Community Center. That was on Monday night. On Thursday night, which was last night, we were down at the community center in Hanley's Road. And of course on Sunday evening, this Sunday at 7 p.m. we will be at the Red Cross building here in Charlestown, and that town hall meeting will run from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. So we're inviting one and all to come out and ask your questions, be a part of the event. I always say there are times when people are in the shops and bars and on the street and they speak with authority, but they're telling something that is not true or talking about something that is not true. So if you have a question, come and ask the ministers who are there. Come and ask your question. Come and be educated. Come and be informed. And so I am inviting you on Sunday evening for the culmination of this round and this series of town hall meetings. It will get started again sometime later, but of course it was intended to be this particular period for each constituency just before Culturama. Okay, so that's that for information for now. If anything comes up, I'll come back to that. But of course, I did say at the start of the show that I expect a guest to be with me, and he has arrived. So I want to welcome for the first time, I believe this is the first, maybe. Give me a nod. Yeah? Okay, the first time to the microphones of Von Radio, I invited Mr. Ryan Jones to be with me today. And of course, he's a friend of mine, someone who will go into how we actually met in terms of the perspective of why he's here in terms of his profession and so forth. But you know, since I've met him, we've interacted many times over the years, and a very decent young man. And I say that publicly, Orion, because you know, sometimes we say things behind people's back, good and bad things. But I want to say to you that I am always pleased, and I am so you know, moved by the way that you carry yourself. As they say, you have the type of deportment that is consistent with what we want in our young people coming up here on the island of Nevis. So I'm going to give you a chance to introduce yourself. All right, the mic is yours.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Mr. Jeffers, and thank you for your invitation. And I'm happy to be here. Good afternoon to the people of Libert Hill, the small village of Libert Hill, where I hail from, to the surrounding communities, the wider communities, the people of Nevis, the people on St. Kitts, the wider Caribbean, and of course the people all across the world listening right now.
Okay, very good. You know, Ryan, when I go down to Charlestown and I walk the street, maybe later today or even next week, people are going to ask me, who was this guy? You know, you had this guy on. You said he's Orion Jones, yes. But who is he exactly? And I will say to them, listen, well, I would not say that I will say to them, but I'm hoping that I don't have to say to them exactly who you are. So I want you to tell the people of Nevis and all of the listeners who are tuned into One Radio at this point in time, who exactly are you? Just you can start from young and come forward.
Okay, thank you for your question, Mr. Jeffers. And Orion is a guy, like I said, who hails from Libert Hill, born from the parents of Urban Jones, my father, and Mildred Paris, my mother. I was raised by my now deceased and God rest her soul grandmother, Miss Eugenie Jones, also assisted by my aunt, Nurse Gwyneth Jones, who, by the way, today is her birthday, and I must publicly, I know I would have reached out to her this morning and congratulated her on her birthday. So I want to say
if you give me a chance as well, keep your thought. But let me also wish Nurse Jones, Nurse Jones Archibald, a happy birthday as well. Happy birthday to you, Gwyneth, and of course, well, I didn't have your name on my notes because I didn't know. But now that I know, I wish you all of the best, and may God bless you for many, many more years to come, and for sure, bless you with enough health and strength to make further contributions toward the development of Nevis, as you have done in the nursing fraternity. And God bless you, and all the best.
Yeah. Yes, so I want to publicly just, again, just wish my aunt, my great aunt, well, my aunt, great aunt meaning she's great of a person, aunt a happy birthday today. I would have wished her a happy birthday earlier, but I just want to publicly do that once again. Also, while I'm in the congratulatory mode, I want to send congratulations, with your permission, of course,
sure,
Mr. Jeffers, to the graduating class of the 2025 graduating class of VNJ's preschool, who had their graduation ceremony yesterday. And I especially want to congratulate my nephew who graduated from that school yesterday and who is now headed to what he calls big school, or what we call primary school. So I just want to wish them all the best.
What's his name?
Isaiah Jackson.
Okay.
So I just want to wish him and all the his other classmates all the best in their endeavors going onward into primary school.
Okay, so let's move a little bit further, because I want to get to something here in terms of what you actually are into as a young man. But of course, church. You're connected to the church, right?
Yes, yeah. I currently attend the...
Because you couldn't have been raised by your grandmother and not go to church.
Absolutely not.
Okay, because I can speak of being raised by my grandmother as well too, and I know the influences that were brought to bear on me as a result of that. Yeah. So
yes. So being raised by my grandma, as you just mentioned, Mr. Jeffers, church was not an option. I had to go to church every Sunday, whether I felt ill or not. Had to go to church, and I'll try to give the shortest version of me, because I could stay here all afternoon, maybe into tomorrow, and just talk. But so from Libert Hill, like I said, and grew up there on the hill before I actually migrated down on the lower lands.
Right. Yeah.
And just a simple guy. I love to work. definitely love to work. I have an affinity for people and just making people happy, making people feel, just a sense of inclusion, if you will, and just a simple guy. You wouldn't really find me a lot. People would ask me, walk up to me and ask me, "Were you here all the time?" And I said, "Yes." I'm just buried in work. That's all.
Right.
I mostly just work a lot.
Would you say it is something a trait you might have picked up from your father, your mother?
I think it's somewhat in the blood, especially with my father. I was not always an enthusiastic worker. I used to always like to be around my father.
Right.
So sometimes he would say, let's go on a job site. That's when I was younger. And I would go willingly because I always loved to be around him. But knowing where he was going, which was on a job, immediately what came to mind was sand, cement, stone, and sun, which equals hard. But I went anyhow, and it was not always, like I said, I was not always enthusiastic like this. But lately, I would say within the last maybe 7 years, my interest into the construction field has spiked.
Right.
I don't know how, I can't explain it, but my interest has just spiked. Originally, I am an electrical contractor, which is where I started out, who I started out as, and I have now pretty much joined the forces with my father.
Okay.
But I'm still an electrician.
Electrician.
I'm still an electrician, but I have joined forces with my dad as trying to, have aspirations to become a general contractor. Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, let's look at the electrical work. And
Sure.
you being an electrician.
Sure.
You said that about 7 years ago you would have been inspired, or you decided to take up. But who you would have gotten your training from initially, though, in terms of the electrical field?
Well, I initially used to work with a group of guys. I'm not sure if I can call their names, but what I will say, there were some guys of great craftsmanship. Yeah.
I think
Great
that's
craftsmanship.
A good spin on that. I understand.
So
Yeah.
they know who they are,
Yes, yes.
and they know I am extremely grateful to them for what they would have taught me. Well, in the field, I had a little theory coming in, not much, but I had a little theory. But I must say that, let's say 80% upwards would have been gathered in the field whilst I was in the field. And so I want to, extend my appreciation again and publicly to these guys for really putting up with me. And, it was, I enjoyed working with them because every day was just a fun day. Every day was business as usual as far as going out and executing. But they made it fun.
Sure.
They made it fun, and we had a special band, and they made it fun. And then in 2016, I decided I wanted to go and just give my personal contributions to the world. I remember this year vividly because 1 year prior was when my grandma actually would have departed this life. During that period, I had a lot of questions because I had a lot of whys. Because right when I started out and I was inspired to just, as I said, give my contributions to the world, she was no longer around, and I kept asking, why couldn't she be around to see the fruits of her labor?
Sure.
As far as her raising me and seeing what she would have, the work that she would have put in. And, slowly but surely I started to just move away from that, those kind of thoughts and just accept things for what they are, because all in all, God is still God and he must be praised through death and life. So 2016 was when I got, as I said again, I felt the need to go and, give my contributions to the world. And I started looking around as to where I should start and how I should start. Looking around as to how I should start and where I should start. And I remember I was there all the time, and then the thought came to mind of those middle-income houses,
Mm-hmm.
I said, you know what? I think these would be a good start for someone like me just coming in. You know, there's not a lot. It's not like a big project.
Right.
Each building,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll be just enough for me to handle.
Mm-hmm.
And so I decided, you know what? I'm gonna go and get myself sorted out as far as having, you know, a business license, etc., and getting legal, for lack of a better term.
Right.
And so I remember journeying into Charlestown one day. You know, it was an intentional morning for me. You know, I went out and I said, "No, I am going to get this done." And I went and I inquired about it and as to how I could get to be one of the contractors, you know, of those buildings, of those houses, and I got mixed response, and there was some who told me, well, you know, it's not a lot of, the reward is not big as far as payment.
Yes.
But I was not really too concerned about the reward. I just wanted to get my feet in and get, as I said, I love to make people happy. I knew what I had to offer. And I said, in my mind, I'm like, I can't wait to get on one of these so that persons could experience a sense of modernity, like, you know, modern look,
Right.
modern feel, as far as electrical is concerned, of course. And so I couldn't wait to jump in, albeit the reward is small. I wasn't too concerned about that. And so 2016 was where it all started out. I went, as I said, and I got started out thanks to a good gentleman. He knows who he is, who kind of like directed me through the process. And I successfully went and got started out and came out. And from 2016 to about just a few years ago, I would have contributed immensely in, you know, with my services, of course,
Yes,
electrical services, and I must say, it's something that I enjoyed. I enjoyed mostly, you know, when persons were ready to move in, that they were extremely happy and elated to what they were getting as far as the service provided. And, you know, in seeing that, I then thought to myself, well, mission accomplished, because that was my main mission, to put smiles and satisfaction on persons' faces. So, like I said, for me, it was like a mission accomplished kind of thing. Yeah.
I'm gonna prick your memory for a bit, because I remember you said 2016.
Yes.
I remember I was in my office one morning and was told by my secretary that there's a gentleman here to see me. Yeah, and I didn't know who it was, because of course I was behind closed doors. And when the door opened and I see you walked in with your folder, and you're like, you know, you were looking like a businessman at that point in time. You know, you came on a mission, as you said, you had a mission in your head. You know, and you came in and you started talking about these affordable income houses, and that you wanted to be, you know, one of the contributors and so forth. And we took that chance on you then, because I believe you were just branching out, as they would say. Yeah? And you took on one then. I said I was going to give you a house, yeah? And I can't recall where it was, to be honest. I can't recall.
Well, I recall like all the details.
You recall?
I recall all the details.
Well,
I mean, things like
good.
these I don't forget,
Good.
because I hold them very dear to me, knowing where I would have started also. Those kind of things go down in my history books.
Yes.
As some special moments. So I recall the house, I recall the area and everything. And I know exactly what's what.
Well, very good. Well,
but it's just
Yes,
a
okay,
second. It is interesting that you remember so much details, but from all with the folder and all that. I mean, I'm not gonna say that otherwise. But like I said, I did go with intention. I knew what I wanted to do, and that was it. I just wanted to go and make a start and get my feet wet, get warmed up, and get going. Yeah.
And you know why I'm so pleased about bringing you here and having you speak your truth, so to speak, is because I've never had any complaints. You know, there are certain contractors out there. I call them contractors, or let's say subcontractors, because you have the general contractor.
That's correct.
And there are some who you perennially get these complaints about. and I would be straight up and tell you here publicly that I've never gotten a complaint, any complaints whatsoever about you and your work. And so I would go forward a little bit more in that one of the larger projects that we would have placed in your responsibility was the Wally water taxi facility.
Right.
You're the one who did the electrical work over there. You recall that that building was it was an existing building, but we had to refurbish it, do some reconstruction and new construction as well. And so you were the one who did all of the electrical work there. And that again, I can't recall getting any complaints whatsoever coming out of that facility. And everything, is just professionally done.
Well, one of my personal sayings and one of my personal beliefs is that, when I come to wire your house or whatever, you're wired for life. Yeah,
okay.
You're wired for life. And that facility actually was my pride and joy, if I should say that. I had great, I felt a sense of pride when when I was doing it, doing the job there. And I remember, you see, sometimes you have to understand, if you understand where you came from, you would appreciate, let me say it another way. If you understand what you had, you would appreciate what you have. Okay. And by saying that, I mean what we had before, it was a temporary facility. I can look back and say that now because it was temporary.
Yes.
We had a mission to do and to get that done. And I remember, there were persons on the benches. We were on that tent, essentially. And, like I said, it gives, like I said, I feel a sense of deep appreciation for what we have now. And as I said, it was kind of like my pride and joy, really and truly. I couldn't wait to get my hands on it.
Yes. To
really just, rip out whatever needs to be ripped out and put in what needs to be put in and just spearhead the whole thing as far as the electrical is concerned. So, and even when it was upon completion, I was home a few times in the evening, and I left home intentionally to go down there just to see the lighting. This happened more than once, more than twice.
Right.
Left the comfort of my home to go down and to see. I knew exactly what was there because I would have placed everything there. But just to see it, it definitely, brought a smile to my face. So, and I'm glad to have been, to have been able to contribute that to my fellow Nevisians, residents, and our visitors as well.
And I'm happy you gave the perspective that you gave in terms of where we were and where we are now. Because definitely. I remember lights and so forth were hanging up in
trees and all that.
Tamman tree over there and all kind of things, just to temporary stuff.
Temporary stuff. Yeah.
And you would have worked through all that in terms of hearing all of the comments and all of the criticisms and whatever the case might be.
Yes.
But the way I see you work is that it's like you have earplugs, even though there are none,
No.
And you have blinders on, even though you don't have any
just protection
on at all.
Yes.
But it's just a matter of you doing what you're being focused on what you're doing and doing what you have to do. And so when the lights are flicked on over there and whatever the case might be, you have to say, well, that was done by Orion.
Yes. And like I said, it's I feel a sense of pride knowing that all of my fellow Nevisians and can benefit from that. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy to have had something to do with it as the electrical contract. And while I'm on that, I wish to give great commendations to all who would have been involved in that, from those who actually had the idea, to those who put the idea on paper, and to those who actually fulfill the idea or materialize the idea or brought the idea rather to reality. Right. So I wish to give great commendations to all involved in that project.
Absolutely. And so I wish at some point I would be able to get the contractor himself, the general contractor here. He's not as brave as you are, but a very decent, very good contractor and a decent guy, right? But it would be difficult to get him here on the microphone to tell his own story. But, but I'm so happy you would have come. But Orion, I mean, you've moved on past Wally Water Taxi facility, and do you still get any of those affordable income houses? Or
Well, the offer is still there, but like I said earlier, because I'm actually with my dad and doing a lot more other things as far as I'm trying to dabble in a lot of things as far as even plumbing and all that kind of thing. A little bit of air conditioning and sort of just the whole entire construction aspect, really and truly. So it's not that I am not available per se, but it's just that I'm really tied up and busy. But those are where I started off. So
But it's obvious that you and your dad make a good team, because I've come to Madden's once or twice and I see him there working with you too.
Yeah.
Giving you the support, which is tremendous as
yeah.
well too. That is always a good thing.
Definitely.
But okay, so construction, of course, you have now, told yourself that you want to be a general contractor, and so you have now had the knowledge and experience of electrical work.
Yep.
You said you're dabbling in some plumbing.
Yep.
And some may say plumbing is a little easier than electrical work.
Well, not necessarily. Plumbing goes a long way. It's not about just sticking pipes together. It goes a long way. It has to do with a lot of preparation, and it goes a long way. Believe me.
No, that's okay. I just wanted to get your opinion of it. Because I myself just stick some pipe together and I maybe think that, but I'm not going to play with electricity.
Many people say that.
I mean, I can see the pipes and I can stick them, but I can't see electricity. I give you commendation for that, and I want you to stay safe in everything you do.
Absolutely.
And adhere to all of the what do you call it now? The safety
regulations and rules,
and
definitely,
so forth,
definitely.
That is important at all times. Never compromise your safety for anything or anyone. Okay, so the plumbing, the other aspects of construction, painting and carpentry and the like. So those are things that you're seeking to broaden your knowledge in.
Yes, which at the end I'll give a general overview of what we do, and if anyone is in need of our services at the end. Yeah.
Well, you'll get a chance.
Absolutely. Sure.
That's what the publicity is all about, is to sell yourself as well too.
Sure.
So after all the water taxi facility, you said you didn't take on any additional major project, because I was looking at other. I suppose you in those projects that your father normally undertake, you would do some electrical work there as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But really and truly, what would you say to young persons out there? Because you gave your life history to some extent.
Right, the short version.
The short version, yes, I've corrected it. A short version, because in today's world, because let me just speak for myself quickly. There is a particular company across the street there in Nelson Spring called Caribbean Pools, and I would have done so from these microphones already as to how it got started. Didn't start with any major capital or anything. It didn't start as a big company per se, but it started with 2 drums of chlorine, and then we were able to multiply that as we go. And it was done by me being curious at one point, seeing 2 drums of chlorine right there on Charlestown Pier, and asked some questions, and from there it mushroomed into something big. And so it is almost similar to what you just divulged, that you had this idea. You were working with some persons before, gained some knowledge, and you just felt like you can take it to another level, which you did. And so the message to young people should be what?
To young people, I have to tell you, you have to first believe in yourself. I know this sounds commonplace to say and to hear, and it sounds very much cliche. When you hear be confident, be disciplined, but you cannot go to the next level without all of these. Cannot go to the next level without all of these. So you first have to believe in yourself. You have to know that you can do it. You have to see yourself at the end, at the end result. You have to see it. Discipline, you have to have a lot of that. Discipline, lots of discipline. Plenty, huge amounts. You have to make a lot of sacrifices. Lots and lots of sacrifices. I mentioned earlier about the work and the reward. That in itself is a sacrifice, because you actually are not getting what you are truly worth. So that in itself is a sacrifice that you have to make. So sacrifice, discipline, and you have to believe in yourself. And there were times for me when you felt like just, in a sense, just giving up. But one thing I've learned throughout life is that if you get tired or if you get confused in any way or you get mentally drained, just rest. Just rest. But do not quit. Do not quit. Do not quit. Rest, recover, and get back up and get going again, but do not quit. So to our youngsters, just as I said, believe in yourself. Know that you can do it. See yourself doing it. And I don't think there's anything that can stop you, really and truly.
Right.
The only thing that can stop you is you.
Is you. That's
You know
right.
what I'm saying? So just keep at it, stay disciplined, and stay respectful at all times. And yeah, the future is yours.
Yeah.
Future is yours.
And of course, the support system is always important and key to what you're trying to accomplish. When I say the support system, you spoke of your grandmother,
Yes.
spoke of your aunt, of course, your father.
My parents. Yep.
And your mom. You can't take those out of the equation. So the support system has to be there as well, because in terms of providing the guidance, we can lean on our own understanding, of course.
Yes. Yes.
But of course, that experience that we get from our parents can go a long way.
It can go a long way, but you know, you because someone can get all the support in the world, but they still not use it to to the full benefit.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So it still starts and ends with the individual. Yeah, still start. The support definitely helps, but it still starts and ends with you.
Yeah.
It's just like someone can lead you there, but they can't make you do it.
Sure.
You see what I'm saying? So it begins with you and it ends with you.
And
Yeah.
that is absolutely good
Yeah.
advice.
Absolutely.
And you recall what you have on your WhatsApp status, or there's a saying that you have there.
I have so much sayings. I don't even know. You'll
No, I
you'll probably
recall
have
seeing
to.
"Love Life" and it will love you back.
Oh yeah. That's one of my faves. Yes, absolutely.
That's
That is
what
one
you
of my
have
faves.
there. And I kind
That
of
is one
like
of my
that, you know.
faves. Yeah, that is one of my faves. Yes, I have so much sayings, so that's why I couldn't really readily remember what
Right.
it was. But yes, that's one of them. Correct.
Okay, we're normally done by 2 o'clock, right? And well, we can look at, as I said before, it is a program, or it's a point in time where you can, let persons know how to reach you, what you offer, and the likes.
Well, as I said, no, I'm now with my dad mainly. I still do electrical work. I still do, certain things. But I'm with my dad. I'm trying to just incorporate and, kind of like mix and blend. So the company is called Urban's Construction. And at Urban's Construction, we offer an array of services, including residential and commercial construction, renovation and restoration, tiling, painting, paving, plumbing, electrical, roofing, pools, fencing, and a host of other services. So if you or anyone that you may know might be in need of any of the services that we have to offer at Urban's Construction, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. We can be contacted via mobile at 869-663-8525 or by email at urbanj59@gmail.com. Also, our post office box is 212 Charlestown, and I shouldn't say very, but soon I'll be trying to get either a website or a social media platform where I can have loads of graphics of anything that might be helpful to persons as far as maybe getting an idea and stuff like that. So very shortly. So feel free to reach out to us at any time with any of the contact information that was provided earlier.
Right.
Yeah.
And Urban Jones Construction have been around for
A long time.
more than 30 years.
Yes,
I
yes,
believe,
yes,
yeah?
yes.
Because I've known Urban for almost all
A long
my
time.
life.
Right.
And so, but you're not into motorbikes and so forth.
No.
Because I remember those days of the Yamaha,
No, I'm not. That's not for me.
Yeah, so very good. So at least we now have better knowledge of you, Ryan.
Yes,
Sometime in the past, I would have had Joelle Brown here. She has her own thing going, Juicy Bites and Juicy Entertainment and Juicy Everything. And of course, Monique Washington, who's
my
your
neighbor.
neighbor.
That's my neighbor. Yes.
She's into skincare products to make a lot of what do you call it? Various lines of soap and stuff like using
that.
Natural and natural products and so forth. She's who I buy all my soaps from.
Nice.
And so we're seeking to get as many persons to get their word out.
Yeah, definitely.
So at least we can have young people taking this space that they should take.
Yes, thank you.
Because I always look at the elderly folks who are among us and appreciate them for the fact that they've been places, done things, and
laid the groundwork.
They've been there.
Yep.
And certain things that they've gone through, we may not experience in our time. But of course, we can lean on them, but also start to prepare for the future because they say the future belongs to all of us.
Yep.
I'm older than you, yes, but I still think I'm young and can be part of the immediate to medium-term future and even longer than that. So long as life lasts, So it is important that persons like you continue to do what you're doing because this island is growing by leaps and bounds, irrespective of what anyone might say.
Absolutely.
Because in your field, we have major construction taking place on the island of Nevis, and one can look at it on a daily basis based on the amount of concrete trucks you see going back and forth. And also, if you go to Long Point, you look at that sand pit over there, it is diminishing almost every day.
Very, very fast.
Very fast, And then, of course, the movement of other aggregates on the island. Plus, a lot of the construction you don't see as you traverse the island main road. You have to go off the beaten, go onto the beaten path or on the off-road to find some of these constructions. So I know construction is alive and well and will be so moving forward.
Yes, definitely.
Because as lands are sold, people are thinking the next thing is to construct.
Develop,
and if, for example, we continue to do the right things around in terms of offering that environment for persons to come and buy real estate, many of them who buy these properties don't want what they meet. They want to either expand, they want to break down and rebuild, whatever the case might be. You've been a part of some of those rehabilitation projects, I'm sure. So construction is an area that keeps an economy going.
Definitely.
As every week monies are put into the economy, every day as a matter of fact, because you have to buy supplies,
materials,
you have to pay your workers, you have to do whatever is necessary to keep your business going, and it's an everyday thing. Money is circulating, so that is why you have chosen an area that I feel is one that will pay dividends in the future. If I were to quickly just say, from my standpoint, I used to look at electrical work in the past as, back in the day when we were living in wooden houses, you were on these, what they call it, 3.5 wires?
2.5, yes.
2.5 wires, with some clips and so forth, and I said, man, I don't want to do that. But now it's more sophisticated now. Everything is through conduit and underground and high tension wire underground and all kind of things have changed over the years. And the skills are here because most of this is being done, or if not all, by all people,
locals,
including you and others who are in that field. So that is a good thing. And so I don't want to say, sorry, I didn't go into electrical work, because that was not for me, obviously not. But it is for you and for all of you who are in that field to continue to be safe and do what is necessary to ensure that the safety of our people are there. And I want to applaud you for your effort as well. So we have just a few minutes, Orion, so if you want to wrap up, and I would go into a wrap-up phase myself. It's just about 5 or 4 minutes left.
Well, I just want to say thank you again, Mr. Jeffers, for the invitation. I really probably wish we had more time because, as I said, I can stay here and talk all afternoon, going into tomorrow, and maybe even into next week. There's so much I can say and just talk about. What I'm saying, as a youngster, and I love talking. I love talking. So, but thank you very much for the invitation, and I just want to say, thanks to God. I should have probably said this at the top of the show, but at the top of when I started. Thanks to God for His continued mercies on all of us as we are able to see another day. And we thank Him for every blessing. You know, I'm blessed to be in a vision, blessed to be just alive. You know, these days, persons are leaving us very unexpectedly, and you know, life is a gift, and so we give all thanks and praises to God.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for having me, Mr. Jeffers.
So very good. So I'll just want to close off in terms of telling you, let no one discourage you from your ambitious dreams.
Yeah.
You know, you don't necessarily need a fan club in order to
No, absolutely not.
to achieve
Absolutely
anything
not.
or
No.
to understand what you're doing. So
Absolutely not.
just be your own motivator.
Yeah, life has
Motivate
taught
yourself.
Life has
and
taught
that'll be good.
life has taught me a lot, and you know, I've seen things. Some people think that you need to actually experience something, but there's a saying that goes, smart people learn from their own mistakes, and wise people learn from others' mistakes. So you don't have to necessarily go through something to know, well, I don't need to take that path, or I need to take that path. You can watch, look, and see, and take wisdom from that.
Right.
So you don't necessarily have to experience something to know, well, I've been there and I know it's not for me. You can see it and, you know, take that for yourself and stuff like that. So, you know, life has taught me a lot. And as I said, life is good, life is fun, life is a gift. I am grateful for life every single day. So
Excellent.
yeah.
Excellent. Okay, very good. Thank you very much, Orion. And I just want to wrap up by saying you are invited once again. Putting in this plug for the CCM Town Hall meeting, which will be held on Sunday evening, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. down there at the Red Cross building. Of course, come and hear your views, ask your questions, or if you just want to listen, the choice is yours. Come on and be a part of the gathering down there at the Red Cross building on Chapel Street. And indeed, that would be the end of our program for today. It was indeed my pleasure. Normally, from time to time, we would have these type of programs where we stay away from the politics, so to speak, and focus on things that are essential to us in terms of our development here on the island of Nevis, development of the mind and the development of the person on a whole. And that is why we tend to have something different from time to time. So it was indeed my pleasure being here, and it was indeed my pleasure hosting as well my guest here, Orion Brown, sorry. Jones, what am I saying?
Thank you for the
Orion
invitation.
Jones. And I've said your name all afternoon, and I got it mixed up there just now, but that's okay.
Man. That's okay.
And certainly I want to continue to encourage you to do your best and continue to be safe.
Thank you. Thank you,
First
Mr.
and
Jeffers.
foremost, because that is important, because that's an important field that you're in.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, so that is my show for today. I'm finishing 1 minute early. There's no need to start anything new. There are other things that we'll have to discuss next week, so I'll leave those until then, God's willing. And as I always say, if you go to church on a Saturday, go to church and serve your God. If you go to church on a Sunday, do likewise. But when you go to church, say a prayer for this station, say a prayer for myself, say a prayer for the staff here and everyone. Say a prayer for the island of Nevis and the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. We do need prayer. And with those prayers, I believe that we can come out to be a much better people and a much better country. And with that, God bless you all. Thanks for listening. Have a wonderful and safe weekend. And of course, if you are online, you can get the show again on YouTube and other social media platform where you'll find Von Radio. Thank you very much and have a wonderful weekend. God bless.
And opinions expressed on the preceding program were solely those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Nevis Broadcasting Company Limited or its advertisers. Listening to Von Radio from the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis.
With all the power from the tower, this is the powerhouse of the Eastern Caribbean, VON Radio, from the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis.
From the VON Newsline,